container.
Okay, we're going to do entry methods. So I'm just going to teach the entry methods first and kind of what they're about. Just 3 entry methods. Basically, there's 3 types of people that you run into. There's people that you touch and they're stronger than you. There's people that you touch and they're weaker than you. And there's people that you touch and they're dangerous. And what I mean by that is that you touch them and you can't quite feel their structure, feel their spine, feel how strong they are. It's usually somebody who's actually got skills. So, all of those take place from this posture, okay? So in the system I do, this is called lean on the horse to ask direction. The opponent's the horse. So what I'm doing is I'm touching into him to see what I've got. Either I've got too little resistance and I can crush him, or I've got too much resistance and I'm going to bounce off. Okay? Those are the first 2 we're going to work on. So the first one's going to be called the beat. Very simple. The beat is when I touch somebody, and as soon as I intercept with their arm, I feel like I could just walk right through them. They're just not stronger than I am. So very simply, I'm going to take my rear hand as I step in, knock his hand out of the way, and just straight into his head. So if I take this from a purely Bagua perspective, right, because that's what we're working with, I'm just going to smash them with my open palm. Especially when you're working with smaller people or people who haven't trained their bodies very much, you don't want to use fists. It's too easy to break your hands and do all kinds of stupid things. So when you're doing a palm strike, the idea is that you're just going to pull your whole hand out of the way, so at the end of the radius and the ulna becomes spears, and that's what you're going to hit. So pick our hands up. I feel like I can get through them. This is the drill. I'm going to take a step in with my lead foot, follow with my hand, and just attack. Okay? No matter what, in combat, 2 humans have to touch. So if we're, not too lively because we'll get off camera, but if we're actually kind of getting ready to fight, as soon as I throw a punch at him, he's either going to let me hit him in the face, or he's going to bridge me. This is now the moment where the horse has been leaned on, right? And he's told me what he is. So if I'm doing the beat from a more combative point of view, I try to poke him in the eyes. He touches me, and if it's too weak, I'll just follow it and come after him. That's the beat. The cross is when I intercept with somebody, and as I hit them, like hit into their structure, I feel like they're too powerful. I'm not able to just blast through this person. So maybe they're bigger than I am, stronger than I am, whatever. That is how you get it. So, for the cross, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a load and release. So what I'm going to do is I'm still going to try to hit him in the face. Okay? This is the moment where I realize he's got too much in my way. Right? So just like the beat, I'm still going for his eyes. But once I realize he's got too much in the way, I'm actually going to put that pressure towards the same shoulder as the arm that I've intercepted. Okay, so this is James's right arm. So I end up putting pressure against his right shoulder. So pressure against me, right? So he's trying to resist. And the idea is, if I release very quickly, his body will react in a way that's not up to him. Because he's forcing outwards against something, and if it suddenly disappears, it's very hard to deal with, right? So as I reach in, I force right towards this same shoulder, and then I'm going to release. So I have to be able to open and then disappear. So it's really about my hands moving forward, and then as my hands retreating, my body moving forward. So if I do it solo, it's just out, there's my interception moment, and this is my release moment. So when I do it with a person, again, this is somebody I touch and they feel really strong. I come into that shoulder, I release it, and I start going to get behind him. So I'm not showing finishes yet, but normally this finish ends up in a place like this. Sorry, James, I smoked you there.
That's okay.
Okay? So, sorry. You're not bleeding. You're not
Making
leaking.
sure it's back in
He's
place.
not leaking.
I'm ugly enough as it is.
So I reach in and let go. And it has to be letting go fast enough that this reaction happens. It's not push and pull. It's not that at all.
Yeah.
It has to be this little burst. I'm going to talk about bursting too. Okay? So to review, the beat, I touch him. He's too weak for me. I just run him over. The cross, I touch him. I push my power into his body, which he resists. And then I release everything. And usually I go around the outside, but it doesn't make any difference, right? The way James just released was this way, so I can go across the inside and whatever. It doesn't make any difference. Third one is the scary person. The person you touch and they don't give you too much or too little. And that sucks. Because now, in the parlance of my Kung Fu brother Kevin, they're neither a cookie nor a muffin. Because muffins you can crush, cookies you can break. They're more like an excellent scone, just first thing in the morning, right? They're a little brittle, but not too brittle.
A cruffin?
A cruffin.
Cruffin.
Trademark. So if you got a cruffin, it's a terrible word. I touch him, I reach for his eyes, and usually what you'll feel, like reach for my eyes, is you'll feel them start to deal with you.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Okay? So this is called the sleeve release. So what I'm doing in a sleeve release is I lean on the horse, I get this feedback from him that he's no pushover, which means I'm going to make the assumption that he's skilled, right? So I'm not going to do something that's easy to stop. So instead of loading the same shoulder, I'm going to load across his body to the opposite shoulder. So I reach for his eyes, I'm actually reaching across like this, just let me move, just like I show where I'm headed. Okay? And when I feel resistance, all I do is drop my fingers. I don't back away, I don't try to pull, I get in here and I drop my fingers. And that's what I'm looking for, is I'm looking for him, who's tensing against me, to move his hand involuntarily. So I end up on the inside gate. At high speed, it's really hard to detect.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's just, suddenly I'm in this spot, right?
Yeah.
Now, truth be told, if you need this on somebody, it won't work. You need two of them usually. So I do a sleeve release on the first hand, I go to his crossed shoulder, then I release it. And I'll just get this out of my way, and I'll attack, but usually that other hand's up. Now, I can either release across or release on the same shoulder. It doesn't matter, but I'm playing another trick. So here I'm going to do the same shoulder, okay? And I'll just release that and take a step. And that puts me back into this spot where I can attack him from behind. So, the beat, pure yang. I touch him, he can't handle me, I just smash. The cross is a yang that becomes yin. I touch him, nope, there's too much there. I get really yin, so that his body moves for me, and then I attack. And the sleeve release is yang power, if you will, a big power across his body to nothing. And then perhaps another one across his body to nothing. Doesn't make any difference. The idea here is that you're interchanging yin and yang. Because if you don't, either the guy's an idiot and it's easy to beat him up, or you're an idiot and you're easy to beat up. Because if you don't change, you're not good. Okay? So last time I'm going to run through them in this way from the point of view of the attacker. So I lean on the horse to ask for directions. He's not stronger than I am, so I do the beat. I straight through with my rear hand. Across, I lean on the horse. He's too strong, so I give him something to resist against by going that way. And then I let him go. Sorry, cross, that's the release. Cross is this side. I give him this rope so I can release to this side. Because that's a nice safe place to be. Sleeve release is where I go across. You were making me want a sleeve release, let's go. So I cross, just drop my fingertips, that gets me to the inside gate. Cool? There's a bunch of people watching this. Okay. From the other perspective, so you're gonna do.
Right.
Okay? So just run them once, right? So do the beat, so I'm too weak. Right?
Yeah.
Remember, it's your rear hand. Your rear hand knocks me out of the way, and I get smashed with that.
Okay.
Okay, so just do that. Boom. Sure. Now, put your hands up, I'll do it. On the other side of this whole thing, people forget to train when they're the person receiving a technique. So James does this technique to me. Go ahead, just do it. Blast through me. Yeah, blast through me, it's all good. Right? My job is not to just stand here and be like waiting for my turn. You're dealing with people that have trauma. And being able to accept that something traumatic and violent is happening is huge. So this is an opportunity for this person, the person receiving, to try to keep their eyes open. That's the first thing. I recommend people watch people's chests. If you watch people's eyes, it's really easy to hide your feet. Okay, and it's easy to get emotionally involved. I don't want to be emotionally involved with this guy. I don't care who he is. So I watch his chest, and when he does the technique, which I allow, I'm a good partner, he fires, and I do my best not to close my eyes, not to flinch away, not to move. Because I'm trying to train my emotional state as this is happening. Sure, in real life, right, I might move and I might flinch and all these other things, but the idea is I don't want to turtle and turn into just a victim and get beaten. Which is what happens, right? When I come at people really, really hard, that tends to be a thing that takes place and people will turtle on it. And that's just no good. So if you're trying to release trauma like that, you want to experience it in a really gentle, graded way, right? So there's a nice gradient that you can work up to until people are rocking at each other full blast. Now, all of these work this way. So if I'm the one doing the movement and I'm doing the beat, he has to deal with pure aggression. So I want you to just leave your hand there. Because all of the exercises should be done from outside, because fights don't start here, right? So I come in, and his job is just to keep his eyes open. And this will build trust between us, and it'll build trust in yourself. All of them work like this. Now the second one, he does the cross. So he's going to load my right shoulder and release it. Release my shoulder now, right? And it's going to make me do whatever, depending on how much I load it.
The load.
Release this way, and release that way.
Ah, yes.
Right? That way you get my back. No. It's not a pull, it's a disappear. Disappear. Faster you do it, better it's going to work. Disappear. Yeah, we'll talk about that. This is another type of fear that this one creates. Because people will brace up against things that they think are going to hurt. So you want that fear to be created. So my job as the partner is to really brace. To be in this place where it's like, yeah, I'm in danger here, I'm afraid, I might get hurt, and I brace up. And he releases me, and I keep my eyes open, I try to keep my breathing calm, and I let him do his practice. I don't turtle, I don't run, I don't swing at him. Just trust. It's really important, because you should get to the place where you can do these full power, full speed on each other. As long as you have the wherewithal to not smash each other too bad, like I did. Okay? Last part of this is actually how to do lean on the horse. So lean on the horse, when I'm doing it, is I pick my hands up, my palms are down, and I'm actually flipping my palms. So both hands are sort of flipping upwards a little bit. Biggest thing is that my front hand is doing this opening palm thing. I call it bursting. So the way I practice it is I'll have both hands down, and then I'll just drop my shoulder blades, pull in my elbows, and let my hands come over and extend at the same time. So I exhale and just do that. That's it. Okay? If people have long sleeves on, get them to snap their sleeves, because then you can really hear what's happening. It's important though that this happens really quickly at the beginning and at the end. So you can't do this. Because now all I've done is give him my arms to break. Right? I need to touch him and disappear so that whatever I've done has already taken place and there's nothing for them to grab onto. So the drill I teach is I'll get people to walk with their lead foot as they burst. So I'll reach in with my lead foot and my arms, bursting at the same time, and then come back. Right? So just nice and easy. Let's do the cross. Right? Both sides, blah, blah, blah. Simple. Really simple. This also creates a place where you can practice aggression. And people who have dealt with a lot of trauma, a lot of violence in their lives, are afraid to be aggressive. But it's a place you can sort of find your confidence, right? When two people get into a combat with each other, and there's no other way but violence, lack of confidence is the fastest way to die. Simple as that. So I shouldn't be scared as I come in here, because all I'm doing, unless I'm baiting him, is I'm just creating my a self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm afraid to get hurt, so I'm going to get hurt. No, you have to hunt them. So if I have to pick my hands up, it's not, I hope I'm going to be okay. It's going to be, fine, and here I come, right? Let's see what happens. And I guarantee you one of two things will happen. He'll either block you and tell you who he is, or he'll eat it, and then you can take his wallet, which is good too. So hopefully that makes it very good. Yeah. Hopefully that makes sense, Ben. If it doesn't, let me know. Kelly's here. And since Kelly's here, I'm going to get him, he's really good at this mental emotional stuff. He's going to do some of the circle walking stuff for you. Let me know how it is, okay? Thanks, James.